Hello, and welcome to the public hearing for Hachar-Reuthinger Road from FM 1472 to I-35 Western Frontage Road. This hearing has been convened by the Texas Department of Transportation and is being held to receive and consider comments from the public. November 7th, 2000 was the last deathless day on Texas roadways, and over 80,000 people have lost their lives since then. That's a streak that we want to break. Help TxDOT end the streak of roadway fatalities by buckling up, driving the speed limit, putting down your phone, and never driving under the influence of alcohol or other drugs. You may have attended previous public hearings conducted by TxDOT. Due to changes in TxDOT's public involvement protocols, we will not have a live speech or take comments from the floor at this public hearing. In lieu of a live speech, we are showing this pre-recorded presentation. Verbal comments will still be accepted on our voicemail line. For the benefit of those who have never participated before, we will explain why the department conducts a public hearing. A public hearing has four essential purposes. 1. Present project status and proposed improvements based on studies performed to date. 2. Present project details and potential impacts. 3. Provide the public an opportunity to see information and provide feedback. 4. And finally, to develop a record of public views and participation to accompany recommendations for subsequent decisions. This public hearing is being held in compliance with both federal and state laws. Following this hearing, the department will proceed with the preparation of the final environmental documentation. Your statements and comments will be addressed in this document and will be given full consideration in the preparation of the final recommendation and design for the Hachar-Reuthinger Road project. The design schematic and environmental documentation for the Hachar-Reuthinger Road project are available for inspection and reproduction at the Texas Department of Transportation Laredo District Office located at 1817 Bob Bullock Loop, Laredo, Texas 78043. In addition, the design schematic may be viewed at www.txdot.gov, keyword search Hachar Road Public Hearing. The information on this website is the same information being shown in this presentation. The proposed Hachar-Reuthinger Road would extend approximately 8.4 miles from FM 1472, also known as Mines Road, to the western frontage road of I-35 approximately 2 miles north of the I-35 Beltway Parkway Uniroyal Drive overpass. The proposed project is located within the city of Laredo and the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction in Webb County. The purpose of the proposed project is to accommodate future growth in the region by introducing a new roadway connection between two major thoroughfares and ultimately increasing capacity. Travel times between FM 1472 and I-35 would be significantly reduced with the construction of the new roadway. The new roadway would also reduce traffic on Killam Industrial Boulevard, I-69 West, FM 1472, and FM 3338 by offering an alternative route between FM 1472 and I-35. The project is needed to reduce traffic congestion on existing state and local roadways due to the increased commercial drayage traffic between the international ports of entry located west FM 1472 and the developing warehouse district located along I-35 north of Laredo. The project area is in the northern outskirts of Laredo on rolling, undeveloped ranch land. There is significant development south of the project area, including a mix of residential and industrial properties. Areas north of the project area contain generally undeveloped ranch land. Significant traffic generators in the project vicinity include FM 1472, also known as Mines Road, FM 3338, Killam Industrial Boulevard, and I-35. The proposed Hachar-Reuthinger Road would provide a 4-lane divided roadway with 2 travel lanes in each direction on new location. The project would include approximately 400 feet of right-of-way but would extend to 500 feet in some locations. Minor widening of the FM 1472 north and southbound lanes. Intersections with turnarounds would be constructed at the future Beltway Parkway and 2 other locations based on the City of Laredo thoroughfare plan. Major creek crossings and flood zones would be spanned with bridges, while minor creeks would have culverts. The proposed Hachar-Reuthinger Road would be a 4-lane divided facility with 2 12-foot travel lanes with 4-foot wide inside shoulders and 10-foot wide outside shoulders in each direction. Intersections with turnarounds would be constructed along the corridor based on the City of Laredo's thoroughfare plan. At these locations, the proposed Hachar-Reuthinger Road would include two 12-foot travel lanes, an inside 12-foot U-turn lane with 4-foot wide inside shoulder and a 12-foot right turn lane, an 8-foot wide outside shoulder in each direction. At major creek crossings and flood zones, the proposed Hachar-Reuthinger Road would be spanned with bridges, including two 12-foot travel lanes with 4-foot wide inside shoulders and 10-foot wide outside shoulders and 1 foot for bridge rails in each direction. The Hachar-Reuthinger Road project is anticipated to be ready to let by spring 2024 and would take approximately 1.5 to 2 years to construct. Letting is when TxDOT notifies the construction community that a project is ready to be bid on by publicly advertising for bids. Construction award of a project typically occurs in 3 months. Construction on a project begins after the letting process is complete. The total estimated cost for the project is approximately $149 million. Please note that the project is not yet fully funded. A project cannot let until fully funded. However, right-of-way acquisition can proceed even if a project does not have construction funding. Prior to December 16, 2014, the Federal Highway Administration, or FHWA, reviewed and approved documents prepared under the National Environmental Policy Act, known as NEPA. However, on December 16, 2014, the Texas Department of Transportation assumed responsibility from FHWA to review and approve certain assigned NEPA environmental documents. This agreement was updated on December 9, 2019. Environmental studies were conducted for the proposed Hachar-Reuthinger Road project to support an environmental clearance in accordance with NEPA. These environmental analyses were necessary to identify, avoid, and minimize effects to the human and natural environment. Technical environmental documentation was approved for further processing by TxDOT and was coordinated with other public agencies. Notices for this public hearing were advertised in English in the Laredo Morning Times and in Spanish in El Mañana Periódico and on the TxDOT.gov website under Hearings, Meetings, and Notices schedule under Public Hearings and Meetings. The TxDOT Public Information Office also prepared a news media release to advertise the public hearing. The TxDOT technical reports are available for your review on the project website and at the TxDOT Laredo District office. The technical documentation for this project addressed the potential environmental impacts identified during the preliminary engineering of the proposed project. These areas of potential impacts included natural, social, and cultural resources. This slide shows a list of all resources that were evaluated during the environmental analyses. The following slides include a summary of those findings. The project's right-of-way would typically be approximately 400 feet wide along its entire length. Subject to final design considerations, the project would require approximately 477.3 acres of new right-of-way and approximately 12.5 acres of temporary construction easements. Although additional right-of-way would be required, no residential or non-residential structures are anticipated to be displaced at this time. No public facilities, such as recreational facilities, churches, schools, or cemeteries, would be displaced as a result of the construction of the proposed project. All right-of-way acquisition would be completed in accordance with the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970 as amended. Brochures including 2 booklets titled The Purchase of Right-of-Way and Relocation Assistance are also available on www.txdot.gov. These booklets contain detailed information to inform you of your rights and provide information about TxDOT's right-of-way acquisition process. The following are findings of the environmental review. Floodplains. The project area is located within the Rio Grande River Basin, and portions of the project area are situated within Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, designated 100-year flood hazard areas. These flood hazard areas are associated with Cuervo Creek, Sombrerito Creek, and an unnamed branch of Sombrerito Creek. The hydraulic design for this project will be in accordance with current TxDOT policies. Waters of the U.S. and wetlands. The proposed project would include potential impacts to waters of the U.S., including 8 tributaries. Impacts would be authorized by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers under Section 404 Nationwide Permits 14. A pre-construction notification to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers would not be required. Cultural resources. Both archaeological and historic resources surveys were completed, and no impacts to protected resources would occur. State protected species. Texas tortoises were noted during field surveys. Terrestrial reptile exclusion fences would be placed along the perimeter of the project during construction, and biological monitors would be in place during brush removal phases. In conclusion, the studies, analyses, and evaluations performed indicate the proposed project would cause no significant environmental impacts. The public comment period for the proposed project ends on June 30th, 2023. Following this hearing, documentation of this public hearing will be reviewed by TxDOT for final environmental clearance and design approval. If there are no major issues arising from this hearing that cannot be addressed in a reasonable timeframe, final environmental clearance is expected by summer 2023. As mentioned earlier, the project has an anticipated ready-to-let date of spring 2024. Construction will begin once the project is let. This concludes the environmental evaluation portion of this presentation. Comments will be accepted in a number of ways as shown on the screen. If you would like to leave a verbal comment, please call the number listed. Comments must be received or postmarked by Friday, June 30th, 2023 to be part of the official public hearing record. All substantive comments and questions will be fully considered and responded to in the project record and made part of the final environmental document for this proposed project. This document will then be made available for public review and copying at the TxDOT Laredo District office located at 1817 Bob Bullock Loop, Laredo, Texas 78043, and online at www.txdot.gov, keyword search Hachar Road Public Hearing. We sincerely appreciate your participation and interest concerning the proposed design of the Hachar-Reuthinger Road project. Your questions, comments, and concerns will receive careful consideration. Thank you very much.